Economic and Development Report.
The Economic Development Report is, currently we have the Family Dollar is going to be opening its doors. We got some construction going on up here on Highway 15. They'll be opening their doors in February, and they'll be requesting a ribbon cutting ceremony, and they are hoping that the council and members of the community can be in support of that. Ford Food Center will be opening its doors between 1st of March and 1st of April. That's just south of City Hall, and they'll be scheduling a ribbon cutting as well. On tomorrow, the mayor along with Fresh Start Ministries are supporting local business will be providing dinner for the less fortunate in an effort to impact the problem of hunger in our communities. Several local business leaders will be assisting in serving the meals, and we'll be asking the council to be in attendance if possible. And if you have any of your constituents, if you'll invite them, the time will be 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It'll be right here at the center. It's misspelling there, but it'll be right here at the center. And we just ask that you attend. Now, there are some other things that are being worked on, and I'm going to have Tanner come up in a second. But some of the projects that we're actually working on, and I want the council to be aware of them, we're working on a project, the 361 project, which is we're working with an architectural firm out of Jackson who brought that to us, and FEMA. And that project will basically entail doing a shelter, emergency evacuation shelter. But I'll give you more information as things develop with that. Also, we're looking at working with a solar farm being developed somewhere in our industrial park. We're just in the very, very rough stages of that. Hadn't gotten that far down the road on it, but I'll be getting a detailed report on it, and then I'll just give you information as that project develops. And we're looking at certifying our industrial park. And Tanner, if you don't mind coming up and you can talk with me a little bit about the industrial park project.
Good evening. I'm going to read out the industrial sites that have been certified in the state of Louisiana to give you an idea of what we're talking about. There's a site in Hammond, Louisiana, 20 acres of oils. The Bunkie Industrial Park, 148 acres. Charleston Industrial Park, that's Highway 165 in Washita. Deer Park in Abbeville, 21 acres. The one on 165 is 700 acres, has rail. Shreveport has a 313-acre site at the corner of I-20 and Greenwood. Lake Charles has a 325-acre site. Shreveport has a 90-acre site on Highway 1. A 40-acre site in the Point Coupé Parish Industrial Park. Ascension has a 987-acre site, and St. Tammany has a 124-acre site. Of course, we have Franklin Farm, which under the current, we're asking them to change that. Under the current rules for certification, they have a 180-day requirement on water and sewer. Well, on a really large mega site, you can't put that in until you know what they want. So that is the only item that's held us up, and that's under review. The value of a certified site is that any site selector in the world, not just the nation, and we're very global now, can come on the state's website and see that this site has had every conceivable test performed on it that qualifies it as a shovel-ready site. In other words, they can come and start digging and put a building up, and day one. This is the outline for for a certified site. I'm gonna leave it, let you pass it, would you, well, I may need to refer to it. But what happens is, under the examination, you have done some of the work already. Skipper, you probably are aware of what's been done. I know City Attorney Tab Singer is working on your title opinion to the property. So you have to have good and merchantable title. You have to have the site zoning, tax assessment, economic development district set up if you're going to do that. Any encumbrances, then the fire protection rating and proximity to emergency medical care, all of that has to be identified. Then you go through the utilities and infrastructure, and to me that's the harder part, because you have to know how much potable water you have, wastewater, what your electrical infrastructure looks like, and you have dual service here, that's good. If you have natural gas, what's the pressure, what's the capacity, where can you buy it from, how soon can they deliver it, and the tap involved, and how much is that going to cost, and how big does it need to be. Telecommunications infrastructure, roadway infrastructure, do you need a road in, do you need any additional paving, and any kind of other air, rail, we don't have that here, but you have some very desirable locations in your industrial park. And I have visited with Mayor and Earl and several team members, and also with Meyer, Hickson, and LaCroix, who I've worked with extensively, particularly on the ConAgra project. But the environmental assessment is very important. Now, we saw the value some years ago in the industrial park, and we got a grant, and we did one soil bore, which said the soil was good in that spot. To really do a proper phase one is much more extensive examination. So what am I getting at? It's costly to certify a site, and who bears that expense is important, and typically it's the owner of the land. We do have a window of opportunity, if it isn't all gone by now, but I don't think it is. Louisiana Economic Development has a matching fund up to $10,000. So certifying a site can cost $20,000 to $25,000. I think they spent $30,000 on the site in Monroe. We spent many times that on the Franklin Farm site, but we did a lot of mitigation of wetlands and restructuring of the drainage and all kinds of things like that. We've actually spent millions of dollars. But the point is that if we are to market your industrial park, it lacks some of the infrastructure that some of the bigger sites have. But as an adjunct, as a site by itself, or someone who does not need a river or rail, it's perfect. It's the right proximity from the interstate, which a lot of times they'll say it has to be so many miles from the interstate. It's a great piece of land. It's not quite flat, but we can get it there. And you can certainly get it there with parish and city help in a short period of time. Most sites require less than a 3% grade on the dirt. Your elevation is good. You just have so many positives going for you. And you all know how hard we've been working to market to industries, and we are making progress. I know we're going to have 3 announcements before the first of the year. Not a lot of jobs each one, but as important as any other in the scope of things to come and what we're trying to do. So what I would ask that the city council do is consider taking this, if the city has the appropriate funding and it can be utilized for this purpose, to please consider doing this. Be a tremendous advantage in economic development for the city as we continue to market to things, other things will happen in close proximity. When we land a big one, and hopefully that won't be too far off, but when we do, you know, the state and I have been marketing for quite a while, but we had to get the site ready to market. We've been a bridesmaid for Kia, Toyota, Caterpillar, and there's one more, Volkswagen. Doesn't feel good to come in second. It feels less good to come in third. But what that has done is put us on the map globally. ConAgra put us on the map globally. So other cultures are looking at us, and with one comes 2, 3, or 4. My hope and dream for this region is prosperity, lower poverty numbers, and better education for our children, and vibrant towns, and a good economy. In the last 2 years, our region led the South in job creation. That's a result of long and hard work. Certainly, we didn't do it by ourselves. The state's Opportunity Fund, which was first put together for Toyota, which we thought we were going to get, helped. And it's helped in many projects. We're going to continue to do our job, and but we need viable sites. And second to this, the most viable thing you have in this town is the Vineyard building. I hope that we keep the land beside it pristine. It's the expansion opportunities. We have to be careful what we put near it, so it won't be a disincentive. But that building, I turn in frequently, and it's going to land something. It is your great opportunity to create jobs here in a quick and fast manner, and it's ready. Those are the conclusion of my comments. I don't know if you want to consider that tonight or talk about it and visit it at the next meeting, but I want to pass this out so you can all kind of go through it and see what I'm talking about. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for serving on my board.
To the council, we have a condemnation list. You don't have it. What I'd like to do tonight is allow Skip to go over it and
What we did, we have these 5 properties that are condemned. Got our notice, date of notice on the right-hand column when we sent our notices out. I made you a notation of 2 of the properties that I received back from them information that they received the green certified mail letter. I had a third one came in this afternoon after I printed this out, that a letter came in for that person. And the ones I got information from was the Jacob Franklin property. They just received we just received that they got the information. We have not heard from them. And Johnson She got hers, she came in today, talked to me, and said she was in the process of possibly selling that piece of property. So she should know before the next council meeting what will happen. Louise Miles, I received a letter in the mail from her over today, and she's going to get her own contract to take that house and do a demolition. Where this puts us at is, my recommendation after getting Mr. Tab on what we should do next is go ahead and send out the official notice that they have until the next council meeting before us, and let us know what they're to do. And what we do there is we just keep our paper trail going. Sometimes when they tell us they're gonna do something, it doesn't happen. And this way we got a paper trail keeping up with what's going on with that property. So that's our next step. This is just for y'all some information, an update, if any of you want to look at the information or pictures of the property I have in my computer. The Jerry Coleman property, notice the date was a little later than the rest of them. What happened was that property was actually put under the wrong address, so I had to resend it to the correct owner there.
Do you have any comments concerning condemnation? I'd like to go back to the industrial park and allow the council an opportunity to go ahead this time and authorize Tanner C to certifying the industrial park.
Mr. Mayor, the information that Mr. Michelle just turned in needs to be reviewed by the council in depth. I think it'd be too soon at this particular time to make a decision of that nature.
Can I mention one more thing on that report? We had one project that I didn't mention, and that's the micro enterprise project. And I have a letter here. I have a letter here on the micro enterprise project. The state of Louisiana cut some of its funding, about $17 million worth of its funding. And we got a letter here from the Louisiana Economic Development, and it said, pursuant to Section X of the Social Services Agreement between Louisiana Economic Development and the City of Winsboro for fiscal year 2011 and 2012, your contract will terminate on December 23rd, 2011 due to lack of funding. Classes currently in progress will need to be condensed to meet this deadline. Termination of convenience, either party may terminate the social services agreement at any time by giving 30 days written notice. The contractor shall be entitled to payments for deliverables in progress to the extent work has been performed satisfactorily. We had a couple of students that was in class, they finished their business plans, got everything done, and they were applying for their IDA account to where that's the 4-to-1 matching funds. It appears that that's going to continue. They'll be able to draw down on that $2,000 for having saved $500 in the account. The department may amend or terminate this contract due to burglary, whatever. Changes in funding priorities by the state upon 30 days written notice. Effective immediately, all new recruiting, assessment, training, technical assistance, credit counseling, and any other new program activities shall cease. All activities that are currently being delivered shall be rendered by December the 5th, 2011. Final invoices for all services rendered under this contract are due by December 5th, 2011, and that's signed by John Matthews, who is the Director of Entrepreneurial Services, and that was dated 11/14/11. Any questions? Thank you.
Been anyone have any questions pertaining to the certification of the industrial park?
So, just give us a little more time, Mayor, to look at this,
Okay,
and we'll probably come back in the next month's meeting.
okay. Could you give us some idea of the information you're looking for? And we could go ahead and start preparing that for you?
That's probably when we're looking at cost, what it's gonna cost us here to get that building, that area.
I think what Tanner told me, Rex, the state would put up 10, and possibly if we match it to 10, we could, I think where your cost is gonna be is in the phase 1 environmental.
Right.
If y'all would, I might have a little
The
bit
heat
more
light
information
don't
on
go
the
down.
cost.
What one thing, the state will match dollar for dollar,
Up
not
to.
like this first, up to.
Up to $10,000, which
Right.
means the state will only pay 5. They'll match dollar for dollar up to $10,000, so city would pay 5, state would pay 5.
Can we do it for 10,000?
No.
No, sir, that's what whenever Tanner first contacted us about this, we started running some of the numbers for it. We estimated about $26,000 would be required in order to do this. There's 3 big portions that go into this as far as the engineering goes. First is a geotechnical report, which we have to have somebody come out here and do soil borings on the site in order to find out what the soil conditions are. We got a quote from a company out of Alexandria to do that, geotechnical testing laboratories for $6,500. Also is the environmental assessment, which is the big portion. The entire site has to be, environmentally cleared. We got a quote from a company that we worked with that does a lot of environmental assessments for us. BDI's, their quote for this project was $16,000. Also $3,000 for maps, etc., to have the floodplains and everything drawn out. And then whatever Mr. Tad charges as far as his time to do his title abstract on the project, but works out to about $26,000 estimated cost in order to have this pre-certified. And like I said, the LED will only pay up to $5,000 for the project.
You're talking about the city.
The city would be paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000, $21,000.
Are you sure about that $5,000?
I'm pretty sure it's a matching cost up to $10,000. I'm pretty sure that's $5,000 split both ways. And I'm not 100% sure about
No,
that,
I
but that's
think
where
it's 10, they'll match up to 10.
okay.
In other
But
words, they'll
that's
put
what they
10 up
told me when I was down there.
And you might be correct. I'm sorry, I might have misunderstood.
Well, I didn't have the budget, but this is very in line with what the other ones have cost. As I said, the one on 165 cost 30.
Can we have an itemized listing of those items that you just mentioned?
I'm sorry?
Can we have an itemized listing of those items that you just mentioned for the council to review? And also a copy of what you had, Tanner, so that we can take a look at it collectively and make a decision, and try to get it all done at one time without piecemeal.
Absolutely. I'll email that to the council this next week.
And
Clarification on our.
I'll get with you on what we looked at legal-wise. We've done a lot of work on this. We have it flagged, am I correct, Skipper, on everything. The industrial park, we have a flat on it.
Right.
And of course, we've codified all our zoning ordinance, and Skipper was working on that last week. So a lot of that, won't take much time. Our end.
Well, everything that, excuse me for interrupting, but everything that's been done will lower the cost. If you've done any environmental work historically, soil doesn't change.
We've done it on a few spots, but it's always just been piecemeal.
Okay.
Like where the Winsboro rubber plant is, we checked that one time, and maybe Ron may have checked when he built his warehouse, but it hadn't been a comprehensive thing
Well,
that I'm aware
it
of.
would be advantageous to do the whole 180 acres, so you don't face this again, because there would be repetitive costs, so.
And I'm not sure town's 180 there, because we sold a good bit in our industrial park.
What about the donation that we made to?
Yeah, we just made
Will you take that out?
Yes, sir.
No,
No, that won't be, won't be any.
It won't be in it. And I think I got it up, I mean, police unit section is probably around 100. That's 28.
Maybe 140.
Okay,
It's all in the back part.
okay.
But maybe we can get those copies, y'all. Let you see what you're looking
At this time,
Need a motion. Motion to accept economic
at.
development. A motion to accept economic development report.
Of Earl Economic Development.
okay.
I'll move, I so move.
Been properly moved and second, all in favor, say aye. Let the record reflect. Unanimously approved. Financial report.
We're at 34% of our budget. Our total general fund revenue at this time is 38%. Sometimes it's higher than that. There's a few that are kind of low, as far as revenue. Let's see, fines is at 15%, that's kind of low. License is 10%, but that'll be picking up, occupational license in the next, she'll mail them out in November, so that'll help out, and property tax also haven't been mailed out, so next month, that should start, we'll be collecting money for that. Our transfers from sales tax funds is 48%. That's pretty high, but then with the money coming in from the license and the property tax, we'll be able to kind of slow down on our transfers, so that should kind of level off next month and also in December. The things that are high in our expenses are the ones that have always been, city hall expense, anything over 40%, we're 5% over, anything 40% and over. So there are a few, but they're the ones that have always been high. Our total administrative expenses is 49%, that's kind of high. Group insurance, we have more employees than we did. Firefighters retirement is 56%. When we budgeted, we only had one fireman on retirement, now we have 3. General insurance, we pay our insurance in December will be our last big payment, and then the rest of the year we'll just have workers' comp and stuff like that, so that'll kind of level off there. Police department operating expenses is 52%. Recreation, all of those are high, but that's seasonal, so until next April, everything's going to kind of, with the exception of light bills, there will be no expenses in that. With capital outlay, our total general fund expenditures are 39%. Sales tax collections, 33, they're right in line. And really the only thing in utility system fund are chemicals to the water plant, and that's, did we purchase enough polymer to last for the rest of the year, or just?
Because of that, my field was tanks, that probably last
6 months, okay. So that might, by next month or two, that might kind of get in line right there. But our total USF expenses, including capital outlay, is 32%. The auditors are finishing the audit. They're still working on some key things. Taryn said that they hope to finish it and present it at the December meeting as their plan. So next month, they should be here with the complete audit. But we'll let you know in a few weeks definitely if that's going to happen. But they said that is their plan.
Will they provide any of that information to the council prior to that meeting?
Possibly. I'll ask her if she can give us a copy and let everybody be looking at it for questions. Comments.
Any other questions? What is your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept the monthly financial report.
Properly moved to accept the financial report.
Second.
And second. All in favor, say aye. You have that same right. Let the record reflect that.